Hey everybody, this is Sky, and when I want to know what's going on in the wonderful world of sports, I tune to Sports World Radio.
Hey, this is EAJ Man from Autopsy Live and the Skype Pirates. When I want to make it look like I don't give a shit about sports, I tune into Sports World Radio with Jeff Escow.
Jeff
Doing my time. Doing my time. Got myself a problem.
Live from San Diego, it's Sports World Radio. You've never heard a sports show like this. Oh, no, you haven't.
Oh, blow me.
You got it.
Holy fucking shit.
What the hell is your major malfunction?
Can't believe that goddamn son of a bitch did that fucking crap.
Don't give me any of your shit.
Right?
Yeah, that's right. Those are your hosts, Jeff Escow and Sean Mann. Remember, those who can't play sports, talk about it. These two tell it like it is. Tune into Sports World Radio for the fastest hour of sports of your life. So here they are, the douchebags of sports themselves, Jeff Escow and Sean Mann.
Hey, welcome to Sports World Radio, everybody. I am the host, Jeff Escow. We got another jam-packed show for you guys today. Another one going down in the history books. I hope everybody's listening because we are live on the Monday edition of Sports World Radio. Like I said, I am the host, Jeff Escow. This is Sports World Radio. I hope everybody's listening to us on SportsWorldRadio.com and hanging out over there and enjoying SportsWorldRadio.com to its fullest. We do this show each and every Monday through Friday right here on SportsWorldRadio.com, 6 p.m. on the East, 3 p.m. on the West. And if you live in the Central?
If you live in the Central, figure that out for yourself.
That's right. Figure it out for yourself, bitches, because I ain't got the time for you. Now, let's get all the particulars out of the way before we get started with this 2-hour sports talk journey that we're going to take you guys on, that we take you guys on each and every day. Facebook.com/SportsWorldRadio. That's Facebook.com/SportsWorldRadio. Head on over there and like our Facebook page, please. Please like our Facebook page. I want to get some more likes over there. And while you're doing that, head on over to Twitter and like our Twitter page at Twitter.com/SportsWorldRadio. That's Twitter.com/SportsWorldRadio. Head on over there and like that and follow us over there as well. Okay? If you're over at SportsWorldRadio.com, thank you so much. You'll see a donate button. Click that donate button and donate to the cause. To Sports World Radio. Donate to our cause on Sports World Radio and help us do what we like to keep doing here on Sports World Radio, and that's entertain you with sports talk, which we do, like I said, each and every Monday through Friday right here on SportsWorldRadio.com. 619-663-3715, 619-663-3715 is the number to get in touch with us here at Sports World Radio. If you're a Skype user and you want to ask us a question, Sports World Radio Show on Skype. That's right, it's Sports World Radio Show on Skype. Head on over there and give us a call and ask us a question if you want to ask us a question. Now, if you want to type in a question, our chat room is over at Spreaker.com. It's free. Head on over to Spreaker.com. Get yourself a free account. When you sign up, type in Sports World Radio. At the bottom of your screen, the show will appear. Go all the way over to the right-hand side, and you'll see the chat bubble. Click the chat bubble. The chat room will open up, and you can start chatting away with us here on Sports World Radio. Hey, Kathy, how you doing? Shab is in the house. Sean's there. I'm there. There's a whole bunch of other people that are listening that are afraid to chat. Don't be afraid. Sean and I won't bite your head off. I promise. Unless you want us to. Right?
That is correct.
And speaking of Sean, there he is. Sean Mann, the update man. What's going on there, my friend?
I am doing well, Jeff. Welcome to March 31st, 2015 at 6:07 p.m. on the East Coast, which makes it 3:07 p.m. on the West. Can't believe how fast March went, actually, when you think about it. Tomorrow is actually April 1st, April Fool's Day, and all of a sudden it's like, wow, where's this year going? Weather right now is wet and very cloudy today. Very damp, very wet, and very cloudy. There's no rain right now, but for a while it did today.
What's it like out there? I was reading something. I apologize to you, my friend.
Wet and cloudy.
Wet and cloudy?
Yes.
Wet and cloudy? You know what I'm going to say to that?
What?
That's what you get for living where you live.
I was waiting for that. I knew that was coming.
Come on, you've been with me almost for 7 years. You know I'm going to say something like that when you say that to me. I want you to guess what it's like down here in sunny San Diego.
a heat wave in sunny San Diego.
Yeah, I just turned the air conditioner off before we went live on the air. Freaking sweating like crazy over here, man. It's always hot in sunny San Diego. I got a friend of mine. His name is Rahan. Okay? He's a really good friend of mine. He's probably listening to us right now, and he's got a whole bunch of his friends listening to us right now. He was here in sunny San Diego for 2 weeks. He loved it. He was driving all around and stuff. He even drove me home one night from the thing I went to last couple weekends back. Really nice guy. Cool guy. Thanks, Rahan. I appreciate that, and he's probably listening. To all his friends out there, thanks for listening, too. We're going to just hang tight with us through the whole 2 hours, because I can guarantee you've never heard a sports show like this. Just hang tight with us. I also got a quick announcement to make to all you people, to everybody that's listening. When we go on commercial break here on Sports World Radio, the fun doesn't stop. Isn't that so, Sean?
The fun doesn't stop, and it's entertainment.
That's right. We keep going during the commercial break. So when you guys are listening to the commercial breaks, Sean and I are still doing the show. We're just not doing it for you guys. But I changed all that.
That's for them to find out.
And they're going to find out right now. I changed all that. I started recording all the conversations that happened during the commercial breaks. All of them. Every single one of them. Every commercial break, before we go on the air, all the commercial breaks, and before we go off the air. You're getting 9 of them a day. Okay, that's 45 a week. And I'm putting them all on one. Each day it's going to have its own. Okay, it's going to be a membership site. All you have to do is head on over to swrsportshorts.com/SSS opt-in. That's SSS opt-in. That's swrsportshorts.com/SSS opt-in. OPTIN. Head on over there. Check it out. There's a sample right there on that page for you guys. You get to hear every conversation. So in other words, when we bring guests on and we go to commercial break and we keep talking to the guests and having fun, you guys will get to hear those commercial breaks. Who's ever on the phone with us will get to hear those conversations. You guys are going to love this. And guess what I'm doing? We're only charging $5 a month. You get every single commercial break recorded, what Sean and I say, and who is ever on the commercial breaks with us, for $5 a month. So in other words, you're getting 45 a week. 45 times 4 is what, kids? That's a lot. You're getting tons and tons and tons and tons of sports. Arguing between me and Frank and Sean during the commercial breaks. There's arguments. There's a lot of fun. We're going to be doing contests just for the people who are members of SWR Sports Shorts. I'm setting up contests now. You're going to win Sports World Radio shirts. I'm having Sports World Radio hats made. Oh, yeah. It's going to be a lot of fun. So you want to get in now. So head on over to swrsportshorts.com. That's swrsportshorts.com/SSS opt-in. That's SSSOPTIN. Head on over there right now and become a member of SWR Sports Shorts. I'm going to put the link in the chat room for everybody that wants it. It's going to be a blast. You guys are going to love this. There's a lot of great stuff on there. And I have to tell you guys one thing about this. There's no hold bars. There's the page in the chat room right now. There's no hold bar. We curse. This is 18 or over adult content on commercials. So please, if you get this, do not play it with your kids in the room, because I can guarantee you there is some cursing on here. And I have 18 stuff on the site, so you know. So you can't tell me I didn't tell you. There's warnings right there, okay? That's the only caveat to the whole thing. But it's only $5 a month. And you get hours and hours of me and Sean just ripping the heck out of people. I mean, when we go to commercial break during the Skippy breaks, don't we keep going, dude?
We do keep going with the Skippy quotes.
Ain't that crazy?
Nuts.
So it's a lot of fun. The whole month of March is all up except for today's, and also a bonus of February is in there as well. And you're gonna get April, May, June, July, August. You're gonna get till you freaking cancel only for $5 every single month. It's gonna be awesome, kids. We're gonna have a lot of contests for you guys, a lot of different things just for the SWR Sports Short members. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So get it today at swrsportshorts.com/SSSOPTIN. Head on over there right now and get yours today. All right, Sean, what do we got going, buddy?
All right, quick shout-outs to Shabba and, of course, the biased Boston fan, Kathy.
She is one of the biased Boston fans I've ever met in my life besides you.
Hey, buddy, I have kind of laid off of that for a while, but Kathy always has to come in here, Boston this and Boston that. You got to realize, Kathy, there is more to Boston sports than just Boston sports. I have to break it to you. All right, first story we're going to get to. How about Jameis Winston? Today in the NFL, he says, I consider myself the best player in the NFL draft.
The best player in the NFL draft? Jameis Winston?
Jameis Winston has come out and says he believes that whatever team drafts him in the NFL as the number one pick, he believes that he can lead that team to a Super Bowl, and he knows that he'll be the best player in the NFL draft.
Yeah, but that son of a
Chicago.
But that son of a bitch ain't gonna be there, is he?
No, he isn't.
We haven't heard if he's going, or if he. So from what we still understand, he's not going, right?
From what we've understood from his father, Jameis Winston has decided. What we've learned is that he would not be going. Correct.
So he's still not going, right?
Still not going.
What's up with that?
All
okay,
right,
you're the first. You're the first pick in the draft, and you're not freaking going to the NFL draft. What the hell is wrong with that picture right there in itself alone?
And I have got information about that. Although it has been reported that Winston likely will not attend the draft in Chicago, he said he hasn't made a final decision. Winston said family reasons may be why he goes home to Alabama to watch the NFL draft.
What?
Here's the big reason why. Quote, my grandmother, she can't travel. She has type 2 diabetes and has multiple surgeries.
So what? You can watch it on TV, for Christ's sakes. Just like the rest of us will. Well, not me, but the rest of you people.
That's what Winston told the NFL Network. Quote, I want the people who I've been with day one to be around me and enjoy this moment. It's a celebration to me, and it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Right.
So Jameis Winston said, it's my grandmother. My grandmother's got type 2 diabetes, Jeff.
I get it, dude, but let me say something to you. I understand that. I get it, and that's fine, but you're forgetting one thing. This is a once-in-a-lifetime deal. It's never going to happen again. You're never going to be drafted number one again. Never, ever, ever, never, ever.
Instead, he'll be sitting on the couch in Alabama with his grandmother and family.
I can't. You know what? You know what's really freaking me out about this whole thing? I can't believe that Roger Goodell's letting it happen. How about that? I can't believe he's letting that happen. Are you kidding me? No freaking way in hell.
Not addressing this issue and not doing one single solitary thing about it, Jeff. It's bewildering, to say the least.
That's ridiculous, man. The number one pick. That's like, okay, you know what? That's like saying when LeBron James went number one, that's like saying LeBron James is not showing up for the NFL draft. The NBA draft. Are you kidding me? Really? What the hell is the matter with you?
And he's wasting the opportunity because then he realizes I won't be there for that. And I think for Jameis Winston fans, you would be so fed up and disappointed not seeing that. And then, of course, he's come out and now he says that he believes he's going to be the best pick in the NFL draft and lead the team, whoever drafts him, to glory.
Oh, come on. You know something? He needs to be there. He needs to be there. He needs to be there.
Now, if he's not, Jeff, you know perfectly well you can have Jameis Winston as a rat bastard candidate.
Sure.
In April.
You better believe I'm going to. Not only is he going to be the rat bastard candidate for the week, I'm making sure he's going to be it for the month, because that's the stupidest thing I've ever. I get it. I understand. Your grandmother has diabetes and she can't fly. So she can watch it on, you know what? Buy her a freaking 200-inch TV screen.
Okay? I have another.
So she can buy her a 200-inch screen, buy her the cable so she can have direct access and see the whole thing and not miss nothing. Jesus criminy.
I have another suggestion about it. Go to Chicago, get drafted, and have other family members watch him.
I mean, come on, man. You know, it's a good thing we're talking about this and not what I'm seeing on my freaking TV right now. Because I'm looking at my TV and it says, Phil Jackson asked season ticket holders to remain optimistic, says he has a clear plan for the 2015 offseason. What have I been saying the whole time? What have I been saying the whole freaking time? Huh? Nobody listens to me. Nobody in the freaking world listens to me. But when they put it up on ESPN, everybody gets all crazy. But I've been saying it the whole freaking year, right?
You said it was going to be a rebuilding year and that the Knicks were going to be going after top free agents and really being the aggressors for the off-season free agent market.
Unfreaking believable.
With maybe LeBron James going to New York City and being a Knick, or Kevin Love. That's a possibility. But you know Phil Jackson's not going to just sit around and have the Knicks become the losers of New York City and then the NBA. We'll get to the Knicks in a second here. Another thing has come out today from the NFL. Matt Schaub has finally found himself a new home. He will be the backup quarterback to Joe Flacco as he is going to the Baltimore Ravens.
The Baltimore Ravens.
The Ravens signed Matt Schaub to be their backup quarterback on Tuesday. The Ravens did not disclose terms of the contract, but a source told ESPN NFL insider Adam Schefter that Schaub agreed to a one-year contract worth $3 million.
Wow.
Adrian, wherever you're listening, buddy, I'm sure you're very excited about that news that Matt Schaub will be backing up Joe Flacco.
That's just ridiculous. Okay. Matt Schaub's career is done.
Pretty much. He's 33 years old.
He's pretty much done because he's going to back up Joe Flacco. He ain't never going to play. When was the last time Joe Flacco got hurt?
I cannot remember, to be exact.
Exactly. So you're never going to see him playing again, Schaub. You'll never see him at all.
Unless Joe Flacco gets hurt, and then he's lucky to come in to be the starting quarterback for the 2015 NFL season.
How crazy! You know what? I had that feeling yesterday that he was going to end up in Baltimore. I had that feeling yesterday. I really did. I don't know why, but I did. I had that gut feeling that I get every now and then. And you know me, when I get those feelings, yeah, I had a feeling he was going to Baltimore. I think I said it yesterday too.
That's right. You did say it on the show, and now he's already made a decision that he will go to Baltimore.
That's the best spot for him.
Looked at were the Jets or the Falcons.
Well, that's the best spot for him. You know why? He'll get paid and he'll never have to play.
That's right.
The best spot for him. He'll get paid and he won't have to play because Flacco don't get hurt, does he?
He doesn't get hurt, and Flacco's a very, very good and a very tough quarterback.
Exactly. So how about that? You won't have to worry about nothing right there.
Here's what Schaub says. Hey, Jeff and Sean, Schaub's career hit a mysterious wall, didn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, as soon as Houston let him go, you haven't heard nothing, have you?
You didn't hear anything there, Schaub, because after he left Houston to the Oakland Raiders, and, of course, things didn't look very well in Oakland for him.
Right. So as soon as he left Houston, he went to Oakland. He played there for a little bit. David Carr came in, not David Carr, but David Carr's brother came in, And boom, done, over. See ya. He was a backup. Now he's backing up Flacco. He'll never play again. How sad is that?
Yeah, pretty sad.
He'll never play again unless Flacco gets hurt. And I don't remember the last time Flacco got hurt.
The next story we get to, we go back to the Knicks. I was just trying to save this so I could keep it topical here, Jeff. What you've been saying all along about the Knicks. Phil Jackson has also come out and said the Knicks are expected to have at least $25 million in cap space this summer. Phil Jackson said this, quote, "We have made key roster moves to free up significant cap space that will provide us greater flexibility to acquire talent in this summer's free agency." That's what Jackson said. And for the first time in many years, we expect to have a high top pick in the NBA draft this upcoming June. These are key steps to building a roster of players that have both the talent and the character to win in New York, and who, alongside Carmelo Anthony, will become a team that can become a consistent winner. And Jackson, of course, has got a great contract with the Knicks. When he came on as Knicks president, he signed a 5-year contract, knowing fully well that the Knicks were going to be a rebuilding process and that he wanted to get them back to the winning ways like they were in the 1990s when they had some of those great Knicks teams that got deeper and deeper in the playoffs.
And what have I been saying the whole season?
You've been saying that the Knicks expected to be bad, Jeff. That's what you said. And then you also pointed out, watch out, in 2015 and 2016, the Knicks will be back and in the upcoming years.
I said Phil Jackson has a plan. Relax,
He has a plan.
people. Relax. He has a plan. He knows what he's doing. He has plenty of money to play with. He's going to get a top 5 pick in the NBA draft, hopefully the number 1 pick, but at least the top 5. Okay? So come on. He'll bring in some good free agents. He'll bring in a young guy. Bada bing, bada boom. Flip this whole team around. Bada bing, bada boom. We're in the playoffs in a couple of years. Come on. Give me some. Come on. I'm telling you. Knicks fans, chill. Relax. Take it easy. You know what? I'm gonna pull an Aaron Rodgers on you. Relax. Just relax. I knew this was a throwaway season. If you're a Knicks fan and you did not know that this was a throwaway season, then you truly are not a Knicks fan. Just like Skip Bayless.
And you truly didn't know the whole principle of the situation with how bad the Knicks were going to be, and that Jackson was going to take.
I knew they were going to be
bad.
Them. I knew they were going to be bad. I just didn't know they were going to be this bad. Okay? I knew they were going to be bad. I just didn't know they were going to be as bad as they are. Okay, that's fine. If you're going to be bad and stink it up, you might as well stink it up and be the worst you can be, correct? Because you know why? You can't get any worse than you are, so there's only one place to go, and that's up. So guess what's going to happen next year? They're going to get better. Guess what's going to happen the year after that? Oh, they're going to be really good. Guess what's going to happen after the year after that? Oh, they're going to be really, really good. Relax.
And you'd pointed out before, Jeff, that the Knicks, since you're the Knicks fan, you'd been wanting to make sure that the Knicks could go after maybe getting Kevin Love or LeBron James because there's a lot of controversy going on between James and Kevin Love.
To tell you the truth, I would rather have
their relationship.
To tell you the truth, I would rather have Kevin Love than LeBron James. Okay, that's just my personal preference because I'm not a LeBron James fan. So that's just my personal preference. I'm sick and tired of seeing him in the playoffs and win. You know, so if he's in the Knicks, then I have to see him in the playoffs. So I would rather see Kevin Love go to the Knicks. I would love to see Kevin Love with Carmelo Anthony and Okafor and then another guy. Are you kidding me? Come on. I would love to see that.
It would be great, and that's exactly what Phil Jackson needs to have for his entire mindset about where he wants to take this team and how he wants to bring back the winning days of the Patrick Ewing era, which was big in the 90s when the Knicks made it 14 straight playoff appearances.
He needs a point guard. He needs a point guard, a center, and a forward. Because he's already got a shooting forward, Carmelo Anthony. So
they'll be active when the offseason gets here. You just watch and see.
That's right. He needs a point guard, and he needs a center. Once he gets those two, he's going to be fine because he's already got Carmelo. And then he's just going to fill in here and fill in there. Wow. That roster, and I said it last year, okay? I
remember.
I said this last year, and I'm going to say the same thing I said last. That roster this year is going to be totally different than it was next year. That roster next year is going to be different than it is this year. Totally. The only person that's going to remain is Carmelo. I can guarantee you they're going to be a totally new roster next year except for Carmelo. They already got rid of a couple of them.
They already did. And, of course, Carmelo Anthony will get better with understanding more of the triangle offense. Derek Fisher will be back as coach to make sure that they can get the team prepared. Just a lot of work to do, but Phil Jackson will have this team better prepared and ready to play basketball next year in 2015 and 2016. And in regards to Cleveland, you could enjoy this for a while. This could just be temporary like we've been saying all along. But whatever happens, regardless in the playoffs this year, the Cavaliers won't be staying there forever because you could see some big pieces go to New York. You could see James make another decision and decide, I'm going to take my talents to the Big Apple and go play for the Knicks. Wouldn't surprise me after the season gets over that LeBron James and Carmelo Anthony start texting each other on the phone and say, let's work on getting a team together to win a championship in New York, and end next year would be 43 years since the Knicks' last championship, which was 1973.
Right. I'm telling you, just wait. I'm just waiting because I know it's going to happen. And for me to wait is difficult because I don't have very much patience. But I have no control over this.
You'll
no
have the
control.
NBA playoffs coming up. I know you'll be ready to watch that coming up in a few weeks.
Yeah, but I have no control over what's going on in New York. You know what I'm saying? So you have to have patience. I knew coming in that this team was going to suck this year. I just didn't know they were going to suck that bad. And yes, I'm a New York Knicks fan. And no, I will never put the word MY in front of them because I don't own them. But I'm a diehard Knicks fan. Okay? Diehard Knicks fan. And I don't talk a lot about them because there's nothing to talk about them. They suck. But when they start playing, wait. They start winning? Unbelievable. I'm going to start talking about them. We're going to run to our first commercial break. You're listening to Jeff Escow and Sean Mann on
Sports World Radio.
We'll be right back.
This message brought to you by FEMA. Stay fire safe this winter. Turn portable heaters off when you go to bed or leave the room. Keep anything that can burn at least 3 feet away. Plug portable heaters directly into wall outlets. Inspect and replace damaged cords, broken outlets, or loose connections. Use portable heaters with an automatic shutoff so that if they tip over, they turn off. Only use portable heaters approved by a recognized testing laboratory. Learn more at www.usfa.fema.gov.
Did you know that just 30 minutes a day of physical activity can improve your health and decrease your risk of heart disease? For every hour of regular, vigorous exercise, you gain 2 hours of life expectancy. So start walking for yourself and for your heart. Start walking with your family. You'll feel better. Start walking in your community. You'll lead happier and healthier lives. Start walking. Start something. Join the movement today. For more information on the American Heart Association's START program, visit startwalkingnow.org and start walking. Start something.
This message brought to you by FEMA. Be fire safe during the holidays. Only use decorations that are non-flammable or flame retardant. Check holiday lights each year for frayed wires or excessive wear. And do not link more than 3 strands. Never leave a burning candle unattended. Consider using battery-operated flameless candles which look and smell like real candles. If your celebration includes a natural tree, keep it away from any heat source or exit. Water your tree daily to keep it from becoming dry. Learn more at usfa.fema.gov.
Hey everybody, this is Sky, and when I want to know what's going on in the wonderful world of sports, I tune to Sports World Radio.
Welcome back to Sports World Radio. Jeff Escow, Sean Mann, bringing you the fastest 2 hours of sports talk each and every Monday through Friday right here on SportsWorldRadio.com. Sean just informed me, I forgot it was even Tuesday. The Big Wind, Frank Sprankle, will be on the show in the second hour if he wakes up from his power nap. Now, why does that guy need a power nap? What the hell?
Bring energy to the show, I guess.
I'm going to have to ask him. What does he get up at 2 o'clock in the morning and then, come on, man. power nap. I ask him that all the time, don't we? Getting ready for the big wind and his power nap. That's what he's doing right now. Is probably snoring wood, the rat bastard.
So he can bring energy to the show and debate Escal with sports.
Lots of luck with that. People tried that a couple of weeks ago and lost.
I bet Skippy takes a lot more naps than Frank does.
I don't know about that. He looks awful tired during the show, and it's really early in the morning.
33 minutes after the hour on the 31st of March, 2015, Tuesday. The next story we get to, this continues to be annoying when they talk about John Calipari. John Calipari, last week I wrote about the ways that both pro and anti-NCAA camps tend to miss the mark when talking about University of Kentucky basketball coach John Calipari, who deserves less criticism for breaking NCAA rules and more for profiting from them. Because even, quote, his, quote, players' first arrangement forces players to take huge risk for a reward artificially delayed by NCAA and NBA rules. Talking about how Calipari possibly, after this year, regardless of what happens, could join the NBA and become an NBA head coach, which Jeff and I strongly disagree with.
That guy is suited for college. That guy is suited for college. Don't get me started on this crap, man. You got me on a roll yesterday with this. He is suited for college, and that's that. Stay in college ball. Calipari, you're not going to make as much money in the pros as you are in college. You're not going to have as much fun in the pros as you are in college. Stay in college. Stay at Kentucky. Come on, man.
We've been saying it.
But he still has, what, 2-3 more years left on his contract, right?
Yeah, and he's one of the highest paid college basketball coaches.
Stay there. What the hell's the matter with you?
Stay where you built a really good Kentucky program. And I know, Browning, you would probably be sick of this too. Welcome, buddy. With Calipari possibly going from NCAA to NBA. There you go.
Come on, man. Just stay in college, will you?
It doesn't sound right. Calipari, the coach, this NBA team. Look how disaster it was for you, Calipari, in New Jersey with the New Jersey Nets. He had a losing record with the New Jersey Nets.
Correct. He's not suited for pros. Stay in college. You like that college atmosphere. That you thrive on that. You're good at recruiting. You got a great story when you go into the recruitment's home and talk to his family. You have it all laid out. You have the pick of the lot. You have it easy at Kentucky. You go to freaking the NBA. You went through it once. Do you really want to go through that headache again?
Yeah, you don't want to have another headache where you have to take another aspirin. Good point.
You know what I'm saying? Stay in college. You got it down pat. You got the routine done. Okay? You got Calipari, your recruiting is basically done. You don't have to recruit. Players are going to come to you automatically because of what you do in Kentucky. It's happening already. You don't have to worry about it. Okay? You don't need to recruit no more because all the winning you're doing there, all the good boys and all the good players want to go to Kentucky and play for you and then go to the NBA because they know that's the route.
And
so why do you want to jeopardize that? What did you say, Sean?
I was just going to say, Josh, welcome to the show. Shout out to the producer of Sports World Radio. It would be such a serious blow to that Kentucky school for the program he's built. Look at this. He's 2 wins away from having a perfect season, going 40-0 and winning the national championship, in which everybody's been picking them to do that. And why did Calipari want to go to Kentucky? Because he loved the program. He loved the fact that he could build the program. He talked. I'll never forget. He had said that he talked with other coaches who went there. He talked to Dan Issel, who used to be the Denver Nuggets head coach. He went to Kentucky. Rick Pitino. He was the coach at Kentucky, and of course, he's done a great job with Louisville. But before that, and before the Celtics, he was the Kentucky Wildcats coach. So he knows very, very well that you don't want to leave something that has just been sensational for him, and then the NBA just turns out to be a disaster. for John Calipari.
I believe Josh, the program director and producer of Sports World Radio, was on the airplane saying hello to us on the airplane, listening to us from his iPhone on the airplane. How about that?
Pretty cool, Josh.
I think that's what's happening. I'm waiting for him to answer me. I don't know if he is or if he isn't, but that's pretty cool. You could be 30,000 feet in the air and listen to Sports World Radio. Yee-hee!
My, oh my, how the technology just changed.
How great is that, huh? We got people listening to us all over the world, and thank you so much for doing that. We really appreciate it here at Sports World Radio. Trust me, we don't take our listeners for granted, do we, Sean?
No, we don't.
That's right.
38 minutes after the hour, let's go back to the NFL. One NFL to Los Angeles scenario that's gaining steam has the Oakland Raiders, ladies and gentlemen, moving to St. Louis. The Oakland Raiders are on the verge of possibly moving to St. Louis to become the St. Louis Raiders.
Say that again?
The Raiders are possibly going to move to become the St. Louis Raiders.
The St. Louis Raiders. So they're going to move to St. Louis, and St. Louis is going to move to L.A.?
That's a possibility out of what we've been hearing. This would be for next year.
That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life.
You want to take a look? There. Take a look at the link. There it is. That is so stupid, Browning, when you think about it. St. Louis Raiders? I don't even like the sound of it. As the NFL moves closer to returning to Los Angeles, the dominoes are falling in a way that has some speculating that the Oakland Raiders could end up in St. Louis when all is said and done. At this point, it appears inevitable that the NFL will have one or two teams playing in Los Angeles sometime in the next few years. That is what even Patriots owner Robert Kraft said about that possibility. The only question appears to be which teams will make the move. Right now, there are two stadium proposals backed by the owners of the NFL teams. One by the St. Louis Rams, and that's a joint venture between the Oakland Raiders and the San Diego Chargers.
Yeah, the other one's a joint venture. But if the Raiders go to St. Louis, that joint venture is done.
Can you imagine
what happens?
That's going to be, Jeff, when I say the updates? And coming up, the St. Louis Raiders are at this.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. You know what's going to happen? Check this out. Check this out. You guys are going to really like this one. This is screwing the Chargers. Really, if you think about it, okay? Because the Chargers were going to go share a stadium, okay? The Chargers play. If the Raiders go to St. Louis, the Chargers play is out. Unless they say, screw it, we'll go up there and own the stadium ourselves. Or St. Louis Rams move out there and they share the stadium with the Rams, which would be funny. You know what? That might be the way to go. Share the stadium with the Rams, because one's in the NFC and one's in the AFC. Nobody would have to move the division. They wouldn't have to move the divisions around.
I think it's just a joke in general. The Raiders don't belong in St. Louis. They belong in California and in Oakland.
How great would that be, dude? The St. Louis Raiders.
Oh, saying my updates and saying St. Louis Raiders would be a little bit of an adjustment.
You're going to have a hard time doing that. Because
exactly.
I can guarantee you're going to slip and say the St. Louis Rams. I mean the Raiders. I guarantee it. And they're calling that for. They're not calling that for next year, are they? Not for
They're calling that possibly for 2016.
Okay, yeah, not for this upcoming season. Not for the 2015. Not to the 2015-16 season, right? No, definitely not. That's crazy. Rams owner in the same article, the NFL has a problem here. The Rams owner Stan Kroenke stadium proposal of $1.8.6 billion, an 80,000 seat stadium with a retractable roof on land in Inglewood, is farther along than the other, leaving little doubt that he wants to move the Rams west. At the same time, St. Louis is the only one of 3 cities in danger of losing a team that has a firm proposal for a new stadium, a $985 million project on the riverfront. So they're building a new. So they're gonna build a new stadium in St. Louis, and the Rams are gonna leave.
The Rams would build the Inglewood Stadium and move to L.A. The Chargers would become the second tenant in the Rams Stadium.
While most acknowledge that there are still a number of ways this can play out, one scenario in particular appears to be gaining steam and would seem to satisfy everybody if both the Chargers and Raiders are unable to get new stadiums approved in their current cities. The Rams would build the Inglewood Stadium and move to L.A. The Chargers would become the second tenant in the Rams Stadium. The Raiders would move to St. Louis and play in the new Riverfront Stadium. How about that crap right there?
I don't like it, and it's wrong, and I know I'm going to slip up in my updates about that.
Okay, this article was written from the Business Insider and Sport by Cork Gaines. Got to give him some props. Cork Gaines. That's nuts. That's freaking nuts. So the Rams and the Chargers would share the stadium, and freaking the Raiders would take the new stadium by the Riverfront in St. Louis. That's just nuts, man.
St. Louis Raiders? Yuck.
St. Louis Raiders. That. And you want to know something? Peter King said that on Dan Patrick's show, and he says the Raiders moving to St. Louis it just makes a lot of sense. What are you, freaking nuts?
It doesn't make any sense, and it's really a bad situation from day one, which is right now today.
King also added that he doesn't see the Raiders getting a new stadium in Oakland, and he doesn't know if the NFL wants the Raiders back in L.A.
Jeff, it's like you always said before, buddy, when you think about it, that just think about it, Los Angeles and Stan Kroenke. You'll be thinking, oh, it's going to be great. This is going to be fabulous. And then just wait until they don't start selling out games in Los Angeles. Then you'll start seeing a decrease in the popularity.
And you know what's going to happen?
LA.
You know what's going to happen? They're going to pump in the crowd noise, and then they're going to get fined for it. Just like freaking the owner of the Falcons. That's what's going to happen, you know? Hey, we got to run to our first update of the day. This update is brought to you by the Flipper. Head on over to flipperflipper.com and get your Flipper today at flipperflipper.com. Never, ever touch your toilet seat ever again. You know how you go into the bathroom and you see your toilet seat up and you got to grab it and put it down? Well, never again. Head on over to flipperflipper.com and get your Flipper today. It attaches to the underside of your toilet seat, and where you never, ever have to touch your toilet seat ever again to flip it up or flip it down. It's called the Flipper, and it's at flipperflipper.com. That's flipperflipper.com. Take it away, Sean Mann, with the first update of the day.
All right, Jeff, thank you very much. Welcome to the first of two updates for Sports World Radio, 46 minutes after the hour. It is the 31st of March, 2015. In the NBA, here are the games for tonight. You got the Pacers taking on the Nets, the Hawks at the Pistons, Spurs at the Heat. That game is on TNT. And lastly, it'll be the Warriors taking on the Clippers in what could be a very big playoff preview between those two teams. National Hockey League, here are the games that we have for tonight, 7 of them. The Panthers at the Bruins, Devils taking on the Blue Jackets, the Hurricanes at the Capitals, Lightning at the Maple Leafs, Senators at the Red Wings, Rangers at the Jets, and lastly, it'll be the Canucks taking on the Predators. In the NCAA tournament for college basketball, Final Four action is this Saturday night with the 4 teams left. Duke playing Michigan State and Kentucky playing Wisconsin. We'll be giving our picks and our talk about that coming up at the end of the week. In Major League Baseball, spring training, of course, continues to keep winding down as we're getting closer and closer to opening day and opening night, which is April 5th. Okay, here we go. Finals today in grapefruit action. The Rays over the Orioles 4-3, Pirates 7, Tigers 3, the Twins 3, the Yankees 1, the Mets, they shut out the Nationals 2-0, the Marlins 3, the Cardinals 2, the Red Sox, they come back from a 6-run deficit in the 9th inning, scoring 9 runs and prevailing by a score of 11-8. And lastly, the Blue Jays 10 and the Phillies 6. Another game that is in progress right now, top third, the Astros and the Braves tied at 0. Cactus League, The Indians 8, Mariners 6, Reds 9, Brewers 3. This is games in action right now. Rangers 9, Cubs 7. The Dodgers playing against the White Sox. Right now the White Sox lead 2-1. That game is in the bottom of the 9th inning. The Giants leading the Rockies 4-3. The Athletics and the Angels playing a slugfest. Right now, the Athletics lead 10-8. Diamondbacks now leading the Rangers 7-6. That game is in the bottom half of the 7th inning. And the other game tonight, it is the Royals taking on the Padres. That's the first of 2 updates for Sports World Radio. This update is brought to you by the Flipper at flipper.com. When we come back from the commercial break and update, more sports talk with Jeff Eskow and Sean Mann. And coming up at the top of the hour, Frank Sprankle.
I had PTSD. Once I was back from Iraq, I was distant from everybody in my family.
We had a reunion of our unit, and you'd hear these spouses say, "Is your husband doing that? My husband's doing that too. I thought it was just us." And really understanding that, hey, this is a common experience.
I learned more to listen to what he was saying, and that made it easier for me to understand where his pain was coming from.
Warriors should know that resources are available. Learn more at realwarriors.net.
Every parent wants the safest and healthiest products for their family. That's why I created The Honest Company. I was just a concerned mom with a crazy dream. A wish that there was a company that I could rely on that did all of the hard work for me. I'm Jessica Alba, and The Honest Company was my dream.
LegalZoom has helped 1 million businesses successfully get started, including Jessica's. Launch your dream at LegalZoom today. Call us. We're here to help.
Confusion ever someone or have sudden you trouble had speaking, understanding?
Understanding trouble? Have you sudden have or speaking someone ever confusion?
Have you ever had sudden confusion, trouble speaking, or understanding someone?
It could be one of the 5 signs of stroke.
Sudden weakness or numbness of the face, arm, or leg.
Sudden trouble with vision in one or both eyes.
Suddenly having trouble walking or difficulty with balance.
Or a sudden intense headache that comes out of nowhere.
If you or someone you know has any of these symptoms, don't wait. Call 911 immediately. You could make a difference in someone's life, someone you love, maybe even your own.
It's late until, wait, don't too.
Don't wait until it's too late. Time lost is brain lost.
Find out more at powertoendstroke.org. Brought to you by the American Heart Association, American Stroke Association, and the Ad Council.
Hey everybody, this is Sky, and when I want to know what's going on in the wonderful world of sports, I tune to Sports World Radio.
Welcome back to Sports World Radio. And the St. Louis Raiders. What? The St. Louis Raiders? What, are you kidding me? Sean, when that happens, you better practice. St. Louis Raiders. St. Louis Raiders. I'm sure you did. I'm sure you did, you rat bastard.
I had to practice that with the Pelicans, so I guess it's going to take a little bit of an adjustment to call them the St. Louis Raiders. That doesn't make sense at all. And then I'm going to have to call the Rams the Los Angeles Rams, and then the Chargers could go to L.A. and become the L.A. Chargers.
That's all wacky, man. That's just not right.
There's lots to do in Los Angeles, folks, just like we had pointed out from previous shows.
That's just not right, man. I'm telling you.
Where Hollywood and the movies are, and then you have realized that the stars don't come out to the Los Angeles Rams football games.
You think they're really going to go to an L.A. Rams game? Come on, people.
No, they'll go to an L.A. Lakers game, or maybe even the Dodgers.
I said this once, I'll say it again. There's no way in God's green earth that after the honeymoon period, when the Rams are there, that place is getting sold out every Sunday. No way in God's green earth is that going to happen after the honeymoon period is over. And they're going to be pumping in freaking noise, crowd noise, and they're going to get fined just like the Raiders, just like the freaking Falcons owner did.
Shabbat goes and he adds this. Some of us are still practicing with the word Pelicans.
I'm sure you are, Shaba. I'm sure you are, you Pelican. the New Orleans Pelicans and the St. Louis Raiders.
Shabba, you just gave me an idea. It could be possible that maybe one day with the NFL trying to add extra teams, you're talking about L.A. wanting a football team, St. Louis. Next thing you know, you could have an NFL team maybe in San Antonio. It's possible with Goodell. Anything is likely because think about it. The NFL possibly will one day have an NFL team. I can't believe I'm saying this. Maybe in London, England. I hope not.
St. Louis Raiders. That's going to piss off a lot of freaking L.A. fans, L.A. Raider fans. I'm telling you. L.A. Raider fans and Oakland fans are going to be pissed.
What would you think, Jeff, if you were living in Oakland? What would your thoughts be about that? Oakland going to Los Angeles.
They're going to be
pissed.
Saying,
wow.
I can't answer that because I'm not a Raider fan, but I know somebody who is. I'm going to try and get in touch with him.
I got some friends of mine that are Oakland Raider fans. They won't like that one bit.
That's not working for them, man. That's pretty funny.
Oh, gosh.
The St. Louis Raiders.
I'm going to screw that up. I swear I will.
Get used to it, boys and girls. I'm telling you, know something? You're absolutely right, Shaba. And the curtain in front of Al Davis' grave just torn in two. You're absolutely... He's flipping over in his grave like, what? What? That St. Louis Raiders? Get the hell... Are you kidding me? That would never happen if he was alive. Never, ever.
You have to remember, though, that with the Oakland Raiders, that when Al Davis made the decision in the early 1980s, which was 1982, he made the decision to move the Oakland Raiders to Los Angeles, where they became the Los Angeles Raiders from 1982 to 1995. Then they became Oakland again. And I think Al Davis would not go through with this. Oh. And Frank Sprankle, the big wind is here. 5 minutes till he comes on.
Watch this. Hey, Frank, how do you like the name the St. Louis Raiders?
I can't wait to hear his perspective on that.
Yeah, just stand back, people, because the gale force wind is going to blow you away when he starts talking about the St. Louis Raiders.
St. Louis Raiders and Riverfront Stadium.
You're
going to
have the St. Louis Raiders, and you're going to have the L.A. Rams, and the San Diego Chargers are going to stay in San Diego. He just got through watching baseball. He wasn't taking his power nap.
This whole thing with them going to Los Angeles is bad, bad, bad. And then you've got the Raiders going to St. Louis. How about this? Rams owner Stan Kroenke's stadium proposal. This would be a $1.86 billion stadium, 80,000 seat stadium.
He's never going to fill that up in He's never going to fill that up after 3 years. I'm telling you, the honeymoon period is 3 years, and then after that, he's going to have the upper deck's going to be empty. He's going to be pumping in sound, and he's going to get fined.
There you go, Jeff. I just sent you the story in the chat room.
It's not going to happen. I don't give a crap if it's a 60,000 stadium. He can't fill it up after 3 years, you jackass. It's not going to happen. That's one of the reasons why they left in the first place. Because nobody was going to the games.
What makes Kroenke different is that he's an NFL owner, and he's the league's second richest owner.
Okay, and you know what really pisses me off, too?
What?
Is they say in this article you sent me, why does Southern California Stadium need a roof? Okay, first of all, L.A., that's not Southern California, jackasses. Okay? There's another town further south than L.A., even southern than L.A. that you call Southern California.
Yes.
It's called San Diego, you jackasses. Okay? That's Southern California. Okay, you know what? L.A. is Northern California to San Diego. You dumbasses. L.A. is not Southern California. San Diego is Southern California. Dumbasses. Get it right. So when you say, why does a Southern California stadium need a roof? It don't. But the stadium in L.A. ain't in Southern California because San Diego is Southern California, you jackasses. You got it?
Got it.
Dumbasses. That pisses me off all the time. That's one thing that irks me to death. All these people, and even the news people, sports, everybody, when they refer to LA, they call it Southern California. They're wrong. They're dead wrong. Guess what, jackasses? San Diego is south of LA. So San Diego is really Southern California. You dumbasses. Just irks me when people do that. Irks the living crap out of me. You know, a lot of things don't piss me off, right, Sean?
Right.
That pisses me off. That irks the living crap out of me. Because I know that San Diego is south of LA and they keep referring to LA as Southern California. Well, it's not Southern California because San Diego is south of LA. That's Southern California, you jackasses.
Exactly.
Unstinking believable.
Built to share. Here's another thing. Kroenke doesn't need to partner with another team to finance the stadium, but the NFL sees LA as a two-team market and wants venues to be capable of hosting both. The Inglewood plan is a two-team complaint, which means it has 2 home locker rooms, identical sets of office space, and 2 owner suites. Whereas the Carson proposal is based on Chargers and Raiders simultaneously relocating. It is widely believed that Kroenke does not want to share the market with another NFL team right away.
No, of course not. Of course not. That's why he's hoping that the Raiders move to St. Louis, he can move to L.A., and the Chargers stay in San Diego. That's what he wants. He wants to be the only team in L.A. That's what he wants.
Indeed.
And that's what it all boils down to. That's what he wants to be the only team in L.A. He wants to corner the L.A. market, which I hate to tell you, sucks for NFL. Because I'm telling you, after the honeymoon period is over, which I believe is going to be 3 years, you ain't going to be selling that stadium out. And especially if your team sucks, you won't even be able to give the tickets away. Because nobody is going to sit in the freaking hot sun on a Sunday afternoon for $500 when they can go to the beach for free and cool off.
And on that note, we have to run to the top of the hour break. Frank Sprankle, I believe, will have some perspective on this. He's coming in. You're listening to Jeff Escow and Sean Mann on Sports World Radio. Bunch of jackasses.
Storms move fast, so we use the best technology. That includes Bosch Icon wiper blades.
They're beam blades with memory tension springs and an aerodynamic design,
which means they fit the curve of the windshield. Bosch Icon wiper blades wiped our windshield clean and outlasted any other blade we've used. In my opinion, the Bosch Icon wiper blades are the best blades out there. Bosch Icon wiper blades, how storm chasers clear the way.
Welcome to the Man Manual. Man comes with a multifunctional casing known as skin. It is remarkable. Warning, standard body wash can cause damage to man's skin. Maintain it properly with Dove Men Plus Care Body Wash. It cleans man and protects skin from dryness. This will keep man's skin remarkable, even under extreme testing. Dove Men Plus Care Body Wash. Skin care built in. Also, freshen man's exterior with new Aqua Impact Body Wash.
Hi, I'm Montel Williams. Most of you know me as a talk show host, but I'm also an author, actor, single father of 4, a fitness writer, avid snowboarder, and I'm also a medical marijuana patient. Like many of the million people who are living with multiple sclerosis, I'm in pain every single day. And sometimes my nerves are so raw that if you brushed up against me in an elevator, I'd scream. I can't sleep at night from the pain, and sometimes the spasms in my legs are so intense they will wake me up throughout the night. I've tried the strongest prescription medications available, and I'm going to tell you, they do not work. In fact, they leave me in a stupor, and most of the time, it's impossible to even live your life. Now, I've tried medical marijuana, and I'm going to tell you something, it works. If you'd like more information about medical marijuana, you can contact the Marijuana Policy Project at mpp.org or call 1-877-JOIN-MPP.
Hey everybody, this is Sky, and when I want to know what's going on in the wonderful world of sports, I tune to Sports World Radio.
Radio, Jeff Escal, Sean Man, and now it's the top of the hour. It's Tuesday. You know what that freaking means, kids. The big wind himself, Frank Sprankle. What's up, buddy?
Oh, my goodness. You know what? Can we just, you know what? Did you have to make the introduction, Lon? Trust me, I got plenty of energy today. I have more energy than on some days. That may be scary, boys and girls.
Oh, God.
You may want to run, hide, and take cover somewhere.
Well, does that mean I don't have to talk a lot this next hour?
You might not have to. All right, tell you what, give me a topic. Give me a topic.
All
you
right.
want to talk about the St. Louis pick? Go ahead.
No.
Yeah.
You know what? You know what, Frank? No, I don't want to talk about it because we talked about it during the commercial break, and everybody that gets SWR sports shirts will get to hear that. So, no, I don't want to talk about it.
We'll find something to discuss.
Find a new topic,
yes.
Sean.
So, yes, the thing that we did talk about, we'll leave that for all
Find a
of you
new
to know
topic,
about.
Sean.
The St. Louis Raiders, though, that is a possibility that would happen in a new Riverfront Stadium. So all this stuff continues to go on and on.
Sean, find a new topic.
All right, the next story we go to Bob Kraft going for the New England Patriots, saying that Aaron Hernandez never did it, something like that.
I watched his testimonial. He said that Aaron Hernandez said to him, he looked him right in the eye and he said he didn't do it. He had nothing to do with it.
Okay, fine. You know what? He's innocent. He hasn't been proven guilty.
He's innocent until proven guilty. But,
Absolutely. It's the United States of America at last check.
But it doesn't look good. Does it?
Does not.
Does it?
Well, I don't. I hope Aaron Hernandez is innocent. I liked him when he was with the Patriots for the last few years. I'm just hoping
he was
for
good.
the sake of Aaron. Yeah, and I'm just hoping that it's not true because you got to understand, there are fans in Boston, Sean, that admire Aaron Hernandez for his accomplishments on the football field. There are kids that want to wear they probably want to wear a Tom Brady number 12 jersey above all else, but little kids, all right, let me ask you this. Little kids don't know any better. They consider them heroes when they don't understand the concept of what a hero is, and that's fine. They're only kids. Their minds are developing mentally. Obviously, I'm hoping that it's not true. I'm hoping that Aaron Hernandez is innocent. I'm just going to wait to the end of the trial.
Wait till the end of the trial and see what else develops.
Looking pretty bad. It's looking pretty bad.
Now, we move to the next topic that I have there. I just wanted not to go on too much about it. The Cleveland Cavaliers. Cavs need love in the postseason. With everything going on with the Cavaliers and the relationship between LeBron James and Kevin Love, the question is, can the two compete together, and can the Cavaliers make a deep run and have a chance to win the NBA championship for 2015?
The question is, where is Kevin Love going to be next year? Will he be with the New York Knicks? Will he remain in Cleveland? Will he be with this other team outside of the Cavaliers or the Knicks? All right, let me ask you guys this. And Jeff, you're the NBA fan here. You're the biggest NBA fan above all else. The Cleveland Cavaliers, how far do they go into the playoffs?
They get knocked out in the first round if they play the Miami Heat.
And that's exactly, Frank, what everybody would want to see. Miami, Cleveland, I've been calling it for weeks.
Frank don't like that answer, does Frank?
Hey, the Bulls already clinched. Hey, the Bulls already clinched the playoff berth.
I don't think the Bulls are going to make it. I don't think they're going to make it very far in the postseason.
Bulls,
if Derrick Rose not, injured, the Bulls, they get past the first round, they match up against Cleveland.
Look at this. Hey, Sean.
Rose is coming back.
What's the deal with Boston back in the 8th seed?
Oh yeah, that's right. All of a sudden we may be talking about the Boston Celtics.
I don't like this at all because I'm like saying, no, I don't want you guys making it. I want you to just lose and not make it so you can get a good draft pick. I saw that they won last night.
How about that,
Sean? 5 years ago, didn't we come to know the name Brad Stevens 5 years ago?
So you know what's gonna happen? You got the Boston Celtics, the Brooklyn Nets, and the Indiana Pacers all fighting for the last spot, and Miami sitting there one game above Brooklyn right now in the win column in 7th seed. Holy freaking Toledo.
Let me ask you
Don't screw this up, Boston. I need you to lose some games and get knocked out.
How much do you guys care about a number 8 seed? Because historically, number 1 and number 8, number 1 always becomes numero uno against number 8.
Okay,
it's not even a series. It may go 5. Some years it may go 6. But mainly it's either 5 games or a sweep.
Okay, Frank, I'll ask you this. The West Coast, Golden State versus Oklahoma, that's your 1-8 series right there.
Yeah, but they don't have Durant.
I understand that. And they don't have Ibaka either.
They don't have I call him a blocker because of the 20. Remember in 2012 that big surge the Thunder had during the playoffs, and Serge Ibaka was blocking everything in the playoffs left and right. I gave him the name Serge Ibaka.
Does Oklahoma have as much a chance to beat Golden State as Boston does Atlanta?
You better believe not. I mean, yeah, they have a chance in terms of a percentage, but the percentage is 0.0000 maybe 5. I don't know.
So in that case,
but not much of a chance. But that's pretty much no chance at all.
Okay, so in that case, why don't they just lose the rest of the games, get a draft pick, and let freaking the Pelicans get in?
What draft pick? Heck, at least they'll have a draft pick. Wait, draft pick? What is it to them? They're not going to be in the lottery.
Yeah, well, every team that doesn't make the – oh, you're right. They won't be in the lottery.
Yeah, unless you're talking about tanking here, lose the rest of the way so you don't get into the playoffs so you can get that lottery
pick. No, you're right about that. I'm sorry. You're right. They won't make the lottery. You're correct.
But I love draft lotteries. I think the NFL should have a draft lottery.
That's a good choice. Good idea.
I find it funny that the Red Sox, that the Celtics are in the playoffs.
Yeah, so do I. Because I thought this was an old team. You got a head coach.
He's playing really good,
pretty much the age of these players.
He's got him playing.
And I like Brad Stevens.
Coach ever. Yeah,
he's got him playing very well.
But Brad Stevens, you guys get the sense that he's more suited for a college and a leader of young men.
But he's got them playing very well. He's doing a good job. Nobody expected them to be in the playoffs this year.
I'll give his due. Hey, if he gets in the number 8 seed, hey, at least he's an NBA playoff head coach.
You got a Boston Celtic fan here on this show who never thought they would make the playoffs, and he's shocked.
I'm shocked, too, and I think a lot of other Celtic fans would be shocked because before the season began, I was like going, I hope if I have to predict a winning season, it would be 44-38 with them getting to the playoffs. But I never would have thought that they would be making some kind of miraculous kind of turnaround just to get into the playoffs, and I was saying the Bruins will be in the playoffs than the Celtics will, but of course you've got the Bruins and the Celtics battling it out with other teams from the A spot, which is kind of like really weird and kind of been a wild, wacky ending for both Boston teams.
Okay, let's say the Celtics do get into the playoffs and face the Atlanta Hawks in the first round. What type of pressure is there on the Boston Celtics? Absolutely none. Atlanta's going to be favorites to sweep, maybe even take that series in 5.
No, they're going to be no.
Here's the deal. I'll give the Celtics 1 win in that series. 1 win and that's all.
There'll be no pressure on them at all.
There's no pressure. You know what? I'll say this. If Brad Stevens can get this team into the playoffs, and I don't care if it's the 8th seed, that's a great accomplishment nevertheless.
Don't just think for a minute, though, that it's going to really happen, because a lot of things can happen 2 weeks from tomorrow for the NBA season. The Celtics could have a monumental collapse. They get booted out of the playoffs, and then Brooklyn or Indiana overtake them for the 8th spot. So I'm not going to be overconfident and say, oh, it's book it. It's easy. They'll make the playoffs. No, there's still a lot of things that can happen in the next few weeks.
By the way, if indeed Boston and Atlanta do meet each other in the playoffs, I bet you one of those games is put on NBA TV.
I agree with that totally, Frank, because
of the interest. There's not much interest in a series such as that.
True. And Josh is saying, Sean, I don't want to see that series between Miami and Cleveland. Oh, give me a break there, Josh. There's nothing wrong with that. Everybody wants to see it because everybody wants to see if LeBron can get past the team he helped win 2 NBA championships.
That's the only series anybody will care about in either conference.
And Jeff and I know very well, Josh, we would love to see Miami win, and then Miami gets booted out in the second round.
Yeah,
and
I just want
have to worry about them for the Bulls.
Yeah, I just want Miami to knock Cleveland out in the first round.
If indeed, and I'll tell you this, I honestly think Miami has an excellent shot. But if Miami to knock off Cleveland, I think that goes 7. I think regardless, this is going to be a deep series. Whoever wins, Cleveland or Miami, I think that's going to go 6 or 7.
You think so?
I have a feeling it would.
I like to see it go bye-bye.
So you like to see a 4-game sweep? Yeah. That's not going to happen. But I don't see it happening.
You know what? I'm okay if it goes 7 games. You know what? I want to see it go 6 games where Miami wins it in Miami, just to piss freaking LeBron off. How about that?
And upset Browning because Browning is the big.
Wait a minute, Jeff. Hold on.
Yes.
What about winning it in Cleveland? Because then, hold on. We talk about, okay, what's going to be the status of the Cleveland Cavaliers next year? How would you like to hear a bunch of boos echoing down from the Quicken Loans Arena as LeBron, David Blatt, and everybody else walks off the court after a playoff loss, ending their season?
I wouldn't mind that at all.
I mean, think about this. I wouldn't mind seeing it in Cleveland because Miami, look, understand this about Miami. I've said this all along. They're not as loyal sports fans as Cleveland. In Cleveland, you have some loyal sports fans. It's a blue-collar town. The teams are passed down from one generation to another. If you take a look at Miami, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't it predominantly a vacation/retirement community?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. I would love if indeed the Miami Heat are meant to defeat the Cleveland Cavaliers in this series, I'd love to see it in Cleveland. I don't care if it's 4 or 7.
Imagine, though, when you think about this series, and Browning, you better hope that Miami loses to the Cavaliers, because if not, I'm coming after you, Browning, because you've been talking all along about how great the Cavaliers are going to go all the way to the finals. I don't think the Cavaliers, even regardless, even if they get past Miami, even if they get past Miami, Cleveland will still lose. Look at all the competition, even the Western Conference. Like I said, West is better than the East.
I'll say this. If the Miami Heat cannot win a playoff series, this season is a failure. I'm not saying they're destined to win the NBA championship. I didn't think they were destined to win the NBA championship this year. But you would expect there to be plenty of progress and building blocks in place. If they can't get past the first round, I don't care if it's the Miami Heat or the Boston Celtics. It doesn't make any difference. If they can't get past the first round, then you got to question what's going to be of the Cavaliers next year. I'll tell you this. I do agree with you, Jeff. I think David Blatt will be gone.
Before we get to that commercial break, I will say this too. The chain reaction of Cavalier fans in the city of Cleveland, I would not even want to be in that city, because Cleveland fans will say, you broke my heart. You lost the NBA playoff series. You didn't get us far enough. We didn't win an NBA championship.
And why do you think I would love to see the Miami Heat, if they're meant to win that series, why do you think I would love to see the Heat win that series in Cleveland?
Exactly. And on that note, we got to go to a commercial break.
You're listening to Jeff Ascow, Sean Mann, and Frank Sprankle on
Sports World Radio.
We'll be right back.
Did you know that just 30 minutes a day of physical activity can improve your health and decrease your risk of heart disease? For every hour of regular, vigorous exercise, you gain 2 hours of life expectancy. So start walking for yourself and for your heart. Start walking with your family. You'll feel better. Start walking in your community. You'll lead happier and healthier lives. Start walking. Start something. Join the movement today. For more information on the American Heart Association's START program, visit startwalkingnow.org and start walking. Start something.
This message brought to you by FEMA. Stay fire safe this winter. Turn portable heaters off when you go to bed or leave the room. Keep anything that can burn at least 3 feet away. Plug portable heaters directly into wall outlets. Inspect and replace damaged cords, broken outlets, or loose connections. Use portable heaters with an automatic shutoff so that if they tip over, they turn off. Only use portable heaters approved by a recognized testing laboratory. Learn more at www.usfa.fema.gov.
What kind of person gets to work in the sunshine instead of an office? This kind of person. I am the new way to work. I do have an office. I'm just not chained to it. It's a Regis office at one of the nicest addresses in the city. I don't have a lease, so I don't have to budget for stuff like phones, IT guys, and artwork for the lobby. Instead, I pay one low monthly rate that gives me a beautiful lobby that impresses my clients, a friendly receptionist, a fully furnished office, a place to meet, and a place to brainstorm with my fellow New Way to Workers. We wonder why more people don't realize that the new way to work is the best way to work. I come here because I want to, not because I have to. I am the new way to work, and I'd like you to join me.
Start now and get 1 month free. Call 1-800-OFFICES or visit regis.com/TV.
Hey everybody, this is Sky, and when I want to know what's going on in the wonderful world of sports, I tune to Sports World Radio.
right, welcome back to Sports World Radio. Jeff Fiscow, Sean Mann, and Frank Sprankle bringing you the fastest 2 hours of sports talk each and every Monday through Friday right here on SportsWorldRadio.com. All right, boys, where were we before we went to break?
All right, we were talking about the NBA. Josh was saying that the Cavaliers were expected to break the 1995-96 Chicago Bulls, who went 72-10. Of course, that was when the Bulls did break the Boston Celtics record in 96 because Celtics went 67-15. I laughed, too, because for a while the Cavaliers looked out of it. Look at Browning, Jeff. If Cleveland goes to the finals, I got them and the Warriors and Cleveland in 7 games. Just saying. Never know.
I need to make a point here because after LeBron decided to take his talents to South Beach, the Miami Heat in 2010-11, and I think it was ESPN that made a projection here. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure it was ESPN. Did you know what they had the Heat's overall record before the 2010-11 season as being? Do you want to take a guess? Anybody?
No, what was it?
Okay, I'll tell you. 76 wins, 6 losses out of an 82-game season.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, seriously, I may have been
Wow.
ESPN, I'm not sure. But somebody projected that the Heat in 2010-11, and remember, this was the first year of LeBron in Miami. They went to the NBA Finals, lost to the Mavericks. But that season, I don't know who it was, but they projected the Heat to be 76-6 that season.
Gosh, and then I laughed too when LeBron went to Miami, and then he ended up losing to Dallas. And I'll tell you too, yes, I remember Shabba. I do remember the '96 Bulls. They were such a great team. Don't forget about the '72 Lakers. And remember this too. I had a story, Jeff, and I saved it, that the Cavaliers, according to this Las Vegas sports book, they were favored to win 58.4% of their games, topping all the other NBA teams. The Bulls came in at like number 6. The Celtics and the Knicks, they were down by the bottom. So, I laughed all the time about how they were saying the Cavaliers were going to be the heavy favorites and that, everybody says the Cavaliers will be unstoppable. And Skippy Bayless will say, my Cavaliers will win the whole entire thing.
Oh, let me ask you this. Will Skippy Bayless be saying my Miami Heat, if they beat the Cavaliers in the first round? If
He
indeed
will.
it happens.
He will, and then he'll come up with some excuse as to why my Cleveland Cavaliers lost in the opening round to the Miami Heat.
Okay, let me make this point very clearly here. Michael Jordan, and actually it was actually 20 years ago. Remember, gentlemen, that Michael Jordan returned to the NBA after a year and a half of retirement.
I remember that.
Playing minor league baseball. But here's the point I want to make. If you take a look at the Bulls of 1995, I'm talking about the second half of the 94-95 season when Michael Jordan made his return wearing the number 45 jersey, which was his minor league number. If you take a look, okay, the Bulls, they did win the first round against the Charlotte Hornets. It was a best of 5. The Bulls won that series 3 games to 1. In the second round, they faced a young, tough Orlando Magic team that defeated the Bulls, and I'll never forget, I watched the 6th game live from my home in Linwood, Illinois, in Game 6 at the United Center, which was, by the way, the first year of the United Center's existence. Hard to believe the United Center in Chicago is 20 years old. But the Orlando Magic defeated the Bulls 4-2 in that series, in 6 games. Of course, the Magic went on to lose in a sweep to the Houston Rockets, that NBA final. The point is, even Michael Jordan needed time to adjust to his new surroundings because the supporting cast, for the most part, had been different from when Michael Jordan last played for the Bulls in 1993, thus winning 3 NBA championships.
And you bring a good point to this, too, Frank. Remember, I was reading it a couple days ago, and they've had it on ESPN Classic or NBA TV. It was 20 years ago, Jeff, and I'm sure you remember this very well. Who did Michael Jordan start playing against when he returned to basketball after playing a few years in minor league baseball? That would be against the New York Knicks.
Yeah.
And that was when Jordan scored 55 points at MSG.
Yeah,
I remember that. I remember the week Michael Jordan returned to the NBA. I remember, of course, everybody knew the anticipation. Everybody was questioning what number was he going to wear because everybody recognizes Michael Jordan as wearing 23. But remember, his minor league number with the Birmingham Barons was 45. Sure enough, he was given 45 just for that half season in 1995, then went back to 23 in the 95-96 season. But of course, I remember the week Michael Jordan returned. He returned against the Indiana Pacers at Old Market Square Arena. And then later on in the week, played his first game ever in the United Center in the first year of the United Center's existence. It was against, coincidentally, the Orlando Magic, if memory serves me correctly. Yes, it was the Orlando Magic. And I remember the next night, Saturday night, the Bulls went into Atlanta, played the Hawks, and Michael Jordan, with time running out, hit a game-winning jumper. I'll never forget that week, just the craziness, the anticipation, all the hype surrounding Michael Jordan's return to the NBA. But understand this, I can still see Shaquille O'Neal in Game 6 with time running out, dunking the basketball, putting the exclamation point next to a W for the Magic. It takes time for a particular individual, no matter how good you are, to adjust to your new surroundings. For Michael Jordan, it was a new surrounding returning to the NBA. For LeBron James returning to Cleveland, new surroundings, new supporting cast, new head coach. I didn't expect the Cavaliers to win the NBA title this year. Come on.
And I'm talking with Shaba about this too. The Cavaliers lose Jeff and Frank in the playoffs. It just adds to more of the misery that Cleveland sports has had to endure over the years. I said, yeah, Shaba, I remember 95. I watched that World Series. They played the Braves. The Indians did. Lost in 6 games. Lost in 7 games to the Florida Marlins. And then don't forget about the Cleveland Browns. They lose this. I would not even want to be in the city of Cleveland, because then everybody's saying, boy, what a bust. We expected the Browns to go to the Super Bowl and go to the playoffs and make a deep run. We expected the Cavaliers to go deeper in the playoffs and win a championship.
Let me tell you this about Cleveland.
Hold on. That city of Cleveland has suffered lots and lots of heartbreak over the years.
Sean, in how you describe the heartbreak of Cleveland, you describe it with the word duh, and then you fill in the blank. The drive, the fumble, the shot 1, the shot 2, the betrayal, the decision. I mean, if you look at Cleveland sports, yes, you associate it with heartbreak, but you associate that heartbreak with the word duh, and then fill in the blank.
Exactly, and I just know that Cleveland's going to have to say it's got to be now. You know, you talk about the Warriors, and I was watching Inside the NBA when the news was announced that the Warriors had clinched the Pacific Division. I think it goes the same way with the Cleveland Cavaliers. It's either championship or bust this year. The Cavaliers know they win a championship, that whole city will explode with elation. They don't, there's going to be anger, sadness, and frustration again. Dan Gilbert knows, and he's going to be probably watching the playoffs again saying, LeBron, you better not walk up the court. You better make sure you're focused on playing basketball instead of what we've seen from years past. And yes, I'll never forget the shot of Elo. I've seen that many times. Craig Elo of the Cavaliers, when Michael Jordan hit the game-winning shot against Cleveland. So this is it for the Cavaliers. They're just like the Warriors, except different.
I got to say this, as far as Cleveland goes. I've been to many cities across this country. I honestly believe some of the best sports fans in the world are located in Cleveland, Ohio. I really believe that to be the case. Because if you take a look at let me ask you this, Sean.
Sure,
what do
go ahead.
you think makes let me ask you this. What do you think makes for a great sports city? I want to hear your opinion first, and I'll tell you mine.
I'd say what makes for a great sports city.
Yeah,
and I'm not trying to be biased. I would have
no, it's
to
okay.
say, I'd probably have to say Boston is most definitely a great.
All right, no, that's not the point. What makes I agree with you. I know. Actually, you're not being biased there because, well, some people may think Boston's not a great sports city. Boston is a great sports city. I 100% agree with you. But the point I'm trying to make here is, what are the makings of a great sports city? I'll tell you what are the makings of a great sports city according to me. The makings of a great sports city are those people that root for teams year in and year out. Those rooting interests are passed down to the next generation, and then the generation after that. They go to games with their own fathers, and those sons, they go to games with their own sons, and those sons, they go to games with their own sons, their own family members. It's blue collar. I think some of the best sports fans anywhere are blue collar. You sit in a pub, not a club. You sit in a nice pub and you talk about the history, what is going on with your team, what is going on within your division, records. That's what makes for a great sports city. I honestly think the best sports cities, not to mention the best sports fans, are blue collar, and Cleveland is a perfect example of blue collar life.
Exactly. No question about it. As we move right along before we get to this update, another team that I have talked with Jeff about, I want to talk with you, Frank, about is the Dallas Mavericks. Playoffs start today. The Mavericks would face the Memphis Grizzlies. What's going on in Dallas? There seems to be so much frustration this year. Rick Carlisle has blasted his team about the way the Dallas Mavericks have played this year. Have we seen the end of Rick Carlisle after the job he had done with bringing an NBA championship to the city of Dallas in 2011? Frank, your thoughts?
I don't think we're quite have seen the end of Rick Carlisle in Dallas. If they make the playoffs, that's going to be a huge accomplishment because he wasn't pleased with what was going on. They would face the Memphis Grizzlies. That would be a tough series. But until Rick Carlisle coaches a pretty poor Dallas Maverick team, and I'm talking about a team that misses the playoffs, maybe they're 10, 11, 12 in the conference seedings. Maybe they don't even make the playoffs. I'll say it. If they don't make the Dallas Mavericks were not to have made the playoffs, even if they didn't, even if it was a 9th seed, let's say, and they were one spot looking in. I honestly don't think that I think that Rick Carlisle would not be coaching the Dallas Mavericks. I think it would take a performance in terms of them not making the playoffs for him not to qualify.
Jeff and Frank, what do you think Mark Cuban has to do, regardless of what happens in the NBA playoffs for this offseason?
Well, isn't this team an older team, the Dallas Mavericks?
Yes, they are.
They need to look young. Well, I think what you need to do is look young.
Coach.
You need to look at obviously drafting well. You need to look at maybe trading away your veterans to stack up on some young talent here. Maybe you trade your veterans for higher draft picks over the next couple of years. I think for the Dallas Mavericks, the key is they need to look younger.
Well, I hate to tell you something, but the Dallas head coach says they're not playing hard. Well, if they're not playing hard for you, then it's time to get a new head coach.
And then you wonder who that's going to be. And on that note, we have to run to our final update of the day.
All right, this update is brought to you by The Flipper. Head on over to flipperflipper.com and get your flipper today at flipperflipper.com. Are you tired of touching your toilet seat to flip it up or flip it down? Then never fret. Get your flipper today at flipperflipper.com. Why can't I get Frank out of here? Frank, never mind. There we go. I got it. Flipperflipper.com today. Take it away, Sean Man, with the final update of the day.
All right, Jeff, thanks very much, buddy. We are 31 minutes after the hour. It is the 31st of March, 2015. In the NHL, games going on right now. The Panthers and the Bruins, they are scoreless. First period, 6 minutes and 26 seconds left. You also got the Devils taking on the Blue Jackets, 6:05. These games are in the first period. First period down in the nation's capital. The Capitals strike for 2 goals. They lead 2-0 against the Hurricanes. Lightning at the Maple Leafs, Senators at the Red Wings, Rangers at the Jets, and lastly, the Canucks taking on the Predators. In Major League Baseball, here is the spring training action. In a big slugfest right now, the Athletics lead the Angels 12-10. Diamondbacks battling it out with the Rangers 8-7. Actually, that game has just gone final. A walk-off hit by the Diamondbacks gives them the game. Another game going on later tonight. It'll be the Royals taking on the Padres. Finals from today from the spring training in the Cactus League. The Indians 8, Mariners 6, Reds 10, Brewers 4, Cubs 15, Rangers 10. Dodgers hosting the White Sox. That game goes to the White Sox 2-1. And lastly, the Giants prevail 4-3 against the Rockies. In the Grapefruit League, top of the 5th inning, the Astros lead the Braves 3-1. Rays 4, Orioles 3, Pirates 7, Tigers 3, Twins 3, Yankees 1, Mets 2, Nationals 0, Marlins 3, Cardinals 2, the Red Sox 11, Rays 8, the Blue Jays 10, and the Phillies 6. In the NCAA tournament, we're down to 4 teams, and that would be Michigan State taking on Duke. That's the first game on TBS. The second game on TBS, number 1 Wisconsin at number 1 Kentucky. And the NBA, here is the action going on for this Tuesday night. NBA on TNT tonight. We're going to get to these games first. It'll be the Spurs taking on the Heat. That game starts at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific. And lastly, the Warriors taking on the Clippers, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time, which is 7:30 p.m. Pacific Time. Two other games going on for the NBA, too. It'll be the Pacers taking on the Nets. And lastly, it'll be the Hawks taking on the Pistons. That is your final update for Sports World Radio. This update is brought to you by the Flipper at flipper.com. When we come back from this commercial break and update, more sports talk on Sports World Radio with Jeff, Sean, and Frank.
Welcome to the Man Manual. Man comes with a multifunctional casing known as skin. It is remarkable. Warning, standard body wash can cause damage to man's skin. Maintain it properly with Dove Men Plus Care Body Wash. It cleans man and protects skin from dryness. This will keep man's skin remarkable, even under extreme testing. Dove Men Plus Care Body Wash. Skin care built in. Also, freshen man's exterior with new Aqua Impact Body Wash.
Why does consultant Jerry Howell stay at La Quinta?
Can you come back tomorrow?
Because only with La Quinta can Jerry instant hold the room tonight using just his phone number. And then power down for tomorrow on his pillow top bed. And when Jerry's refreshed, you know what he does?
We need ideas, people. Think. Synergistic integration. Genius.
He thinks outside the box.
I'm going for it. No.
La Quinta Inns and Suites take care of you so you can take care of business. Instant hold your next stay on your smartphone at LQ.com.
La Quinta.
Hi, I'm Montel Williams. Most of you know me as a talk show host, but I'm also an author, actor, single father of 4, a fitness writer, avid snowboarder, and I'm also a medical marijuana patient. Like many of the million people who are living with multiple sclerosis, I'm in pain every single day. And sometimes my nerves are so raw that if you brushed up against me in an elevator, I'd scream. I can't sleep at night from the pain, and sometimes the spasms in my legs are so intense they will wake me up throughout the night. I've tried the strongest prescription medications available, and I'm going to tell you, they do not work. In fact, they leave me in a stupor, and most of the time, it's impossible to even live your life. Now, I've tried medical marijuana, and I'm going to tell you something, it works. If you'd like more information about medical marijuana, you can contact the Marijuana Policy Project at mpp.org or call 1-877-JOIN-MPP.
Hey everybody, this is Sky, and when I want to know what's going on in the wonderful world of sports, I tune to Sports World Radio.
Welcome back to Sports World Radio. Jeff Eskow, Sean Mann, bringing you the fastest 2 hours of sports talk each and every Monday through Friday right here on SportsWorldRadio.com. It is Tuesday. In the second hour of each Tuesday and Thursday show, our good friend Frank Sprankle from Chicago joins us, and he's here with us now. He's got a topic. Go for it, my friend.
Well, guys, yeah, of course, Indianapolis is hosting the Final Four this weekend. Obviously, Saturday will be the Final Four games, and a couple of exciting games, too. I'm looking forward to both, especially the Wisconsin-Kentucky matchup. And then, of course, 2 days later, Monday, the big dance, all slated at Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis. But truth be told, with Indianapolis and really the state of Indiana being in the news over the last couple of days now, it's interesting that Indianapolis is playing host to the Final Four when Indianapolis has been in the news because of its governor, Mike Pence, having to defend himself over this what is it? This Religious Freedom Restoration Act. Now, say what you want, it is becoming a hot topic here because if you take a look at it, and I'm not surprised, you have Greg Louganis and Jason Collins, who are openly gay. Of course, we know about Greg Louganis, the diver. We know about Jason Collins, who played in the NBA for a decade, coming out toward the end of his career that he was openly gay. But these guys, as well as other gay athletes, they're planning on protesting this law during the Final Four weekend. Let me ask you guys this. Do you think it's right for them to protest when we're celebrating such a great, one of the best sports events of the year, the Final Four? And unfortunately, with what is going on in the news and this political issue, it is certainly going to play a backdrop over the Final Four here. And
I think it's the wrong.
Yeah,
I think it's the wrong time to be protesting it because it comes at a time when you got 4 great teams going at it. two of them are going to come out of it for the Final Four.
I'm excited about the Wisconsin-Kentucky game. Sean, that's the game where I'm locking myself in, and I'm only answering the door if you're delivering a pizza.
Yeah, but I don't think it's
pizza.
right.
You better get that pizza before the game starts.
That's going to be a great game. I'm looking forward to that one.
I honestly do not think this is a good time to protest it, especially with these 4 teams going at it. I think it's a bad idea. And I know from reading this story that you just that I'm checking out that you posted in the chat room, in Indianapolis, they're going to be playing it, of course, as we all know, this weekend. And then in 2021, the NCAA Final Four is expected to be back in Indianapolis again.
Okay,
yeah, I've been, by the way, gentlemen, if I can just say, I've been to Lucas Oil Stadium. It opened in 2006. I've been there a number of times. I was actually there for a Colts preseason game last year against the New York Giants. It's a beautiful facility. It opened in 2008, pardon me, but it's a beautiful facility. I enjoy going there. I've even been on the field as well.
Jeff, your thoughts about this whole thing about the protesting?
Wow. Frank's going to let me give my opinion?
Yes, speak up.
Because Jeff had to go before you, Frank.
I don't give a flying fig Newton about it, but I do agree with them protesting this weekend, and I will tell you why.
Okay, go ahead.
Big stage. Millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of eyes, correct?
That's the point I've been trying to make, Jeff. Bingo.
Perfect time to do it, correct?
Correct.
Bingo.
That's why I think they should do it, because not everybody knows about it. So if they protest during the Final Four weekend, guess what's going to happen? Everybody's going to know about it because there's going to be a billion eyes on it. So everybody's going to know about it. People over in Africa don't know about it. I'll be watching the Final Four. They'll find out. People in London who don't know about it, I'll be watching the Final Four. They'll find out about it. It's gonna open it up, and it's gonna force Indiana to change it. Watch. I'm telling you, it's gonna happen.
Okay, Jeff, let me ask you this. Okay, go ahead, Sean, because I want to make this point here, and Jeff makes some great points here, but go ahead.
All right, what's your gentleman's thoughts about what Charles Barkley had to say about this whole situation?
About what? Wait, speak up.
Saying about the NCAA should move Final Four games out of Indiana because of the anti-gay law.
Well, you know what? That's his opinion, and he's allowed to have it, but we all know that's not going to happen.
But hold on, that's unfair to the citizens of Indianapolis. We're talking about a few individuals that are politicians here. We're talking about the governor that a lot of people don't agree with.
Right.
But what about the citizens? What about those that work at Lucas Oil Stadium trying to make a paycheck here? And I gotta say this to Jeff's point. Here's my concern about the protesters. And yes, they do have the right to protest. And Jeff's right. Millions and millions of eyes are going to be centered on Indianapolis this weekend and Monday. But let me ask you, do you think this could be a concern? That you're going to have these protesters of pro-gay rights, and I mentioned here Greg Louganis, Jason Collins, and all of them. Could they try to disrupt the Final Four in any way?
No. They're going to do a very peaceful protest because that's what Jason Collins and Greg Louganis are about. Yes, they're gay athletes, but I don't care that they're gay.
I don't either.
Okay? So those are the right two people to do it. Have they ever been, let me ask you a question. Have you ever heard them doing something mean or wrong about gay rights? No, right? So don't you think that this would be a peaceful protest and they're going to make sure that it's a peaceful protest, Jason Collins and Greg Louganis? They don't want to be involved in a non-peaceful protest, don't you think so?
They're celebrities.
Correct. So they don't want to be involved.
They don't want to be involved in
a non-peaceful
They don't want to have their
protest.
names tainted here.
Correct. So I think it's going to be a very peaceful protest. I think it's the exact time to do it over the weekend because there's going to be a billion eyes on this thing, and people and people outside of Indiana and outside of the Midwest really don't know about it, do they?
Well, here's another thing too. If they want to protest, that's fine, but I hope they don't do it at Lucas Oil Stadium because there's no point of protesting at Lucas Oil Stadium. I know what you're thinking here, Jeff. Millions and millions of eyes on Lucas Oil Stadium.
Don't they deserve the right to protest?
But wait, that's not the right place. Okay, let me ask you this. If you are somebody that is anti-NRA or anti-guns, you don't like guns, where are you going to protest? Are you going to go to a gun shop and protest?
That's a good question. What do you think,
go to
Jeff?
I'll tell you where you go. No, you don't go to the gun shop because that gun shop is honoring a constitutional right to sell his product. If you don't like it, the Constitution of the United States gives us the right to bear arms. You go to Washington, D.C. and protest on the steps of Capitol Hill. If you don't like this,
But
with
this is
what's going
not
on in Indiana, go to the state capitol and protest.
But there's not going to be any cameras at the state capitol. All the cameras are
That's
going to be
my
at the
point.
Final Four. So you go where the cameras are at. That's what you do.
And
You
they're going
go
to
to the
protest. They're going to protest right outside Lucas Oil Stadium.
And you know something? Charles Barkley actually said, as long as their anti-gay legislations exist in any state, I strongly believe big events such as the Final Four and Super Bowl should not be held in those states or cities. Now, Charles, you're working the NCAA tournament this week. Does that mean you're not going to go and do your job?
Let me ask you this: would you guys be concerned that Charles Barkley has something to say about this? We know how Charles Barkley is open-minded in terms of his opinion. You don't think Charles Barkley is going to say something about this on CBS's coverage this weekend?
He already said it. I just read the statement that he already said. He's made that statement right here. He says, as long as anti-gay legislations exist in any state, I strongly believe big events such as the Final Four and Super Bowl should not be held in those states or cities. With that remark right there, Charles, does that mean you're going to go work this weekend?
Oh, that's a good
because
point.
if you go work this weekend, your statement means crap. It
By
means
the
you're
way,
a
Ted Hayden,
hypocrite.
the athletic director at USC, he has a son that is openly gay. I read this morning in terms of research because I did my research this morning for this show. He has an openly gay son. He's part of the College Football Playoff Committee. The College Football Playoff Committee is slated to have a meeting next week in among all cities, Indianapolis. Pat Hayden says, out of support for his son, he is not going to this meeting next week in Indianapolis.
Good. But you know what? I'm interested. I'm interested if somebody walks up to Charles and says, with that statement you just said, why are you working this weekend? If you believe so much in the statement you said, why are you working here? You should be protesting. You should be outside with Greg Louganis and those guys.
Okay, so he should be in Indianapolis.
He
Yes,
shouldn't be
but
in
he
there.
should be protesting
With that
outside
statement,
of Lucas Oil Stadium
with that
during the
statement
games.
he just made, he should be outside protesting with the protesters. Correct?
Okay, so you wouldn't mind seeing Charles Barkley this weekend in Indianapolis, but not on CBS's coverage. He should be out with a picket line.
With that statement that he just made, if he shows up on CBS to work, he's a hypocrite.
Well, I
Plain
don't
and
know
simple.
if he'd be a hypocrite. I mean, he probably would realize that
Plain and
this is
simple.
about sports.
No, okay. But you know what? We got to run to break. We'll continue
Let's go.
this conversation when we get back from break. You listen to Jeff Escow, Showman, and Frank Sprankle on
Sports World Radio.
We'll be right back.
I had PTSD. Once I was back from Iraq, I was distant from everybody in my family. We had a reunion of our unit, and you'd hear these spouses say, is your husband doing that? My husband's doing that too. I thought it was just us. And really understanding that, hey, this is a common experience.
I learned more to listen to what he was saying, and that made it easier for me to understand where his pain was coming from.
Warriors should know that resources are available. Learn more at realwarriors.net.
Every parent wants the safest and healthiest products for their family. That's why I created The Honest Company. I was just a concerned mom with a crazy dream. A wish that there was a company that I could rely on that did all of the hard work for me. I'm Jessica Alba, and The Honest Company was my dream.
LegalZoom has helped 1 million businesses successfully get started, including Jessica's. Launch your dream at LegalZoom today. Call us. We're here to help.
Confusion ever someone or have sudden you trouble had speaking, understanding?
Understanding trouble? Have you sudden have or speaking someone ever confusion?
Have you ever had sudden confusion, trouble speaking, or understanding someone?
It could be one of the 5 signs of stroke.
Sudden weakness or numbness of the face, arm, or leg.
Sudden trouble with vision in one or both eyes.
Suddenly having trouble walking or difficulty with balance.
Or a sudden intense headache that comes out of nowhere.
If you or someone you know has any of these symptoms, don't wait. Call 911 immediately. You could make a difference in someone's life, someone you love, maybe even your own.
It's late until, wait, don't too. Don't wait until it's too late.
Time lost is brain lost.
Find out more at powertoendstroke.org. Brought to you by the American Heart Association, American Stroke Association, and the Ad Council.
Hey everybody, this is Sky, and when I want to know what's going on in the wonderful world of sports, I tune to Sports World Radio.
Welcome back to Sports World Radio, the final segment of our Tuesday show here on Sports World Radio. Frank Sprankle joining us like he does each and every Tuesday and Thursday in the second hour of our show. We're talking NCAA tournament, but specifically what Charles Barkley had to say against the anti-gay legislation. Okay, he strongly believes that big events such as Final Four and Super Bowl should not be played in cities or states that have an anti-gay legislation.
I'll tell you what, Sean, who has the statement? But I think for those that are just tuning in, Sean or you, Jeff, I don't have the statement from me. I think the statement should be read again for those just joining us.
Charles Barkley said last week, as long as anti-gay legislation exists in any state, I strongly believe big events such as the Final Four and Super Bowl should not be held in those cities or states. That's from Charles Barkley's mouth. Okay, he's supposed to work this weekend at the NCAA Final Four. If he shows up to work, steps foot in the state of Indiana, he's a hypocrite.
Not Indianapolis, not the city of Indianapolis, because this is a state issue here.
Correct.
That includes anywhere within the four corners of the state of Indiana.
He's a hypocrite. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. What if he shows up to go to work? His statement means garbage.
So if he steps, so wait, hold on. So if he is in Fort Wayne, even if he's in Fort Wayne come Saturday, that would make him a hypocrite.
Correct.
Because he is on Indiana soil.
Suppose though you had Charles Barkley on the show right now, Jeff and Frank. What would be the first question you'd ask him about for this issue?
I would say, Charles. I would say to him, Charles, with the statement that you made, how can you show up at the NCAA Final Four? If you believe that strongly, how can you go and work in that state?
Frank, what would you say to him?
Well, you know what I'd say? One question I would say is, okay, if you take away the Final Four from Indianapolis, then what city or what state, for that matter, it doesn't matter what state, there's multiple cities in many states, where should it be held? Because understand this, what constitutes the NCAA for a city to host the Final Four here is that it's got to be in a football stadium. It can't be in an NBA, NHL arena here. It's got to be in a football stadium with indoor capabilities. But I would also say, well, what about those people that need to work this weekend? What about those people at Lucas Oil Stadium that are cleaning the stadium, that are selling apparel here?
Frank,
they need to make an honest buck.
Frank, you could send the game and put it right in St. Louis.
Well, that's not that far. Trust me, I made the drive from Indianapolis to St. Louis.
Put the game right in St. Louis in the Dome in St. Louis and play the Final Four right there.
I don't think it's ever been there.
Well, there you go. Done. I just came up with their plan. But you know
what? But that's what I would ask Charles Barkley.
It's too late.
What do you say about those that are trying to make an honest buck this weekend?
It's too late to move the Final Four. It's here already. It's too late.
They already have the court. Did you know the court has already been laid down at Lucas Oil Stadium?
No, it's here already. It's done. You can't do nothing about it, Charles. So with that statement, then, you don't show up for work.
By the way, Charles, I should say this to Charles Barkley, that there are already media personnel that are in Indianapolis right now.
Charles, I'll tell you what, Charles, if you believe so strongly about what you said, then you should not go to work. Period.
Okay, let me ask you this, Jeff. What happens come Saturday? I think it'll still be late afternoon for you when the Final Four begins play. And the two games I think are on TBS, with Monday being the championship on CBS. But what happens if you see come Saturday? And this is not resolved. It's still the same course as what we have come to know in the news this week. What happens if you see Charles Barkley on camera come Saturday?
You know what I'm going to say? Hypocrite. Hypocrite.
And Skippy Bayless would have something to say. He probably would say, I agree with what Charles Barkley has to say about that, since he has something for Charles Barkley.
He's a hypocrite if he shows up. There's no doubt about it.
The next story we get to, we got about 7 minutes left before we have to call it a day for Sports World Radio until tomorrow.
Wow.
We move, Frank, to what we've talked about before. You said you're looking forward to the NCAA Final Four this weekend. You've got 4 great teams going at it. We kind of relate more to this issue, but we kind of move on from it.
Let's talk about the sports.
Yeah, Wisconsin #1, Kentucky #1. You couldn't ask for anything better than that. I think that's going to be one heck of a game Saturday night, and I will be watching it.
Oh, so will I. Like I said, I'm planning to have some pizza here and a nice cold beverage, water, may I say. But I'm definitely looking for that game because of the size. If you take a look at Wisconsin, they got that Frank Kaminsky. And by the way, Frank Kaminsky, all good men are named Frank. They got that Decker kid who's an excellent outside shooter. And Kentucky, one thing about Kentucky, that is a skylight team. That game, I'm telling you, one thing we're going to see in that Wisconsin-Kentucky game on Saturday, we're going to see some big size. We're going to see NBA size in that game.
The question, though, too, Jeff, I know you want to see Kentucky get knocked out. They're the only school right now that is only team undefeated at 38-0. Kentucky loses that. How much of a blow would that be to John Calipari?
I don't think it's going to matter at all.
Would it have mattered? Let me ask you this, Jeff, though. Would it have mattered if he had lost, if they had lost in the Elite Eight round to Notre Dame on Saturday? Understand this. Notre Dame played pretty darn well against Kentucky.
Yes, but they got to the Final Four. It don't matter.
Notre Dame, though, if I'm Kentucky, though, I'm looking at that film over and over again, and you're probably saying, if you're Calipari, look, we only won the game by 2 points. We have to play a lot better than we did last weekend against Notre Dame. So hopefully John Calipari will have his work cut out for him and that Kentucky team on Saturday against Wisconsin. Now, the other matchup that we have, the first game on TBS is going to be Duke taking on Michigan State. Your thoughts about that game, Frank?
I got to tell you what, gentlemen. I don't know about you, but I'm a big Mike Krzyzewski fan. I like what Mike Krzyzewski stands for. And by the way, if you guys saw Mike Krzyzewski after the game, in the seconds after the game in which they defeated Gonzaga on Sunday in the Elite Eight, did you see Mike Krzyzewski talking to each one of the Gonzaga players? CBS caught this, that he was talking to each one of the Gonzaga players. I don't know what was being said in the conversation, but he was talking with them for about a few seconds before moving on to the next player.
That's how he rolls.
I'll say this.
Man.
I am a huge Mike Krzyzewski fan, and one thing about Mike Krzyzewski when it comes to the Final Four, Mike Krzyzewski will have his team ready.
And your thoughts, though, too. I, of course, in my bracket had picked Duke and Kentucky for the national title, with Duke winning it. And that, you know why I want Duke and Kentucky. I've said it before, Frank, and I'll say it again.
Heavyweight.
There is history between those two schools, Duke and Kentucky. You don't ever forget where people were in March of 1992 with Christian Laettner hitting the game-winning shot that beat Kentucky 104-103, and that was at the Spectrum. That was in the Spectrum in Philadelphia. You still remember that, Frank? I bet you'll never forget that.
I was in fourth grade. Yes, I remember being in fourth grade watching it. And I was starting to get into college basketball. Not a big college basketball fan at the time, but starting to get into it. Of course, you had the tournament. It was a big deal, still is a big deal. And it's amazing. You take a look at the Spectrum. Boy, how has the NCAA tournament evolved here? I mean, you take a look at the Spectrum, which wasn't a big arena, has since been torn down in Philadelphia, to Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis. I mean, think about it. 23 years ago, it was held in the small Spectrum that was home to the Flyers and the 76ers. Charles Barkley played there, remembered, ladies and gentlemen. And now it's in a big football facility. Boy, the tournament, that should just tell you the popularity of it.
Now, Josh is saying an upset will happen with Michigan State beating Duke. I remember him saying that a few days ago. And then Shabba says that Michigan State will clip Duke, and Browning says Michigan State for the upset. I guess a lot of people are eager and itching for Duke to get booted out of the tournament. No, I don't want that. I want to see that Duke-Kentucky matchup. And they've also
do I.
They've also played in the NCAA tournament. It was in the late 90s between Duke and Kentucky. And I do remember that it was Kentucky that knocked them out of the tournament. So this is going to be a great matchup Saturday, though. I don't think about the national title between Duke and Kentucky. Now, here's a quick question for you, Jeff. Your thoughts about maybe, possibly, that this could happen? How about Michigan State and Wisconsin for the national title?
Michigan State could very well win. I mean, I got Duke winning the whole thing, so I'm kind of hoping that happens.
And you're winning. I want to ask Jeff this. Go ahead.
Yeah, real quickly, Frank. We're talking about two legendary coaches going at it. Krzyzewski against Izzo. I have respect for both of those college coaches.
Oh, I have a lot of respect for both those college coaches. You guys remember about a decade ago there was discussion of Mike Krzyzewski going to the Lakers? Does anyone remember that?
Yes.
I do, yes. And it was a bad choice from day one. Krzyzewski's had numerous offers from NBA teams about going to a team, but he declined because he loved the program that he did. He liked what he'd done in Duke. And I said, yeah, stay with it. He's got 1,000 career college wins as a basketball coach. That was a highlight for this year. And now he's got a chance to win a national championship. He only has a few years left. Think about it. Since 1980, he's been the coach of Duke.
That's a generation. I mean, think about that. 1980, that's 35 years he has been the head coach of Duke, and times have changed considerably in this country. It has changed culturally, but one thing that's been consistent, Mike Krzyzewski at Duke and Mike Krzyzewski leading young men, his players, into the real world that is tomorrow.
Frank, we got about a minute left. You said you had a question for Jeff. Is that correct?
Yeah, I just want to know, who do you have Duke defeating in your bracket in terms of if indeed it comes to fruition on Monday?
I had Duke in Arizona in the final game.
Oh, well, at least you have Duke.
Oh, that's right. And Arizona got knocked out. I was thinking of you, Jeff. He's like son of a gun, you know?
I had Arizona and Duke in the final round. So I lost Villanova early, too, as one of my final four. So I was out of it pretty early. Hey, we got to get the flock out of here. I want to thank everybody for hanging out with us today. We really appreciate it. We'll be back again tomorrow for another fun-filled 2 hours of sports talk. Until then, my friends, remember, you only have one life to live. Live it long, live it strong, and live it proud. And please don't forget, life may suck, but the alternative is unacceptable.
Amen.
Peace out, everybody. For Sean Mann, Frank Sprankle, I'm Jeff Escow. This has been Sports World Radio. Peace out, bitches.
Goodbye.
Hey, boy, Stimpy. We sure had fun today, didn't we? So long, kids. Come on, Stimpy, say goodbye.
Where are we going?
The show's